The Super Mario 64 Iceberg. What an iconic image. And I already know what you might be thinking. Wilford, this isn't the Edda and Eddie Iceberg. God damn you. You've been saying that's next throw for a month now. And look, I'm getting at it. That's next. And also excuse me for recording after not sleeping at all. But this is something I just spontaneously wanted to make after seeing yet another video that was more recently uploaded on the Mario 64 Iceberg, and make a small casual one like I did back in summer with the entries missing, where this time I'd like to talk about the less talked about entries. Now, the ones that are on the tip of that image don't really require much explanation aside from just factually stating what they are. And then a lot of the ones in the bottoms are so vividly and widely talked and discussed about that a lot of them get their own videos even, and have a lot of mystery and depth surrounding them that people like to think of. But what about all that random shit in the middle that's just kind of more vague and up to interpretation and out there? Well, something that ultimately wanted to have me do this, after just kind of staying them around a while ago in comment sections that nobody really looks at, is wanting to give them more of a spotlight, because I feel like a lot of people just kind of overlook them as nothing. And the latest video I saw gave a more personal direction to the Iceberg image, like their own history of playing the game as a kid, and how some of those entries hit them. And I liked that, but they still kind of missed stuff despite seeing yet another turn and twist on it. And yes, even Mitch Kroz's beloved video that helped start off this kind of glanced over them too. And even Sunflower. So today I'm going to be giving them more things. A lot of these are just extra details that were in the game that a lot of people just quickly state and then move on with, and don't really go why they might be on the iceberg and the mystery that goes behind them, the wonderment of looking at them as a kid. And an example I would like to start with is probably the one that might be the most confusing entry on the iceberg for many, without just flat out knowing what the fuck it means. And that's the secret aquarium. Now, a lot of people are like, I don't know what this is doing on here. You have to enter the aquarium to get 120 stars. It's an early and easy findable secret. And yeah, that's right, assuming it's referring to aquarium. Mitch Kroz had a theory that maybe it was talking about clipping into those normal fish tanks, but no, that's probably not it. And a reason that I heard that's pretty good for it being on here is the fact that the windows are all a different tint inside said aquarium. And yeah, that's something that I like to think, because it's another like really cool little detail that I've never really picked up on, and the kind of thing that I like to see in older games. And I'm going to be showing you said different tints as I'm still talking about this. That's personally my favorite reason why, but something else I've noticed regarding that secret area, unlike the other ones, especially ones mentioned on the iceberg, is that it doesn't really talk about where it is. Like, if you look at the other iceberg entries on there that have to do with secret stars, it talks about the slide's quote-unquote dimensional drift, and people have talked about how that means that it's too big to fit anywhere in the castle, and how it just drops you in the middle of the foyer if you fly off it or get the star. And people are like, well, where the fuck is that? And then other ones that are just go about saying that aren't even on the iceberg, like where you get the invisible cap switch that's underground. The Mario in the Clouds star that's up in the clouds, and if you fuck up on that, then you fall down back to the castle grounds. But where the fuck is that aquarium? It goes outside the castle, technically. What's this weird black hole doing in there? This black box. I'm not going to talk about Mario DS, but it fits. I mean, what the hell's the deal with those two openings in the wall? The one that contains the one up also. Not even the iceberg mentions that, and maybe that's kind of why it's on there. But I like the tinted windows. And next, what I would like to talk about are the volcano blocks, most videos that I see of this, well, basically all of them, in fact, just go like, yeah, it's just an extra detail left in there. But like I've been saying, I want to look in, well, why is it such an appealing detail? Why was it put on the iceberg? I mean, when you look at that as a kid, it catches your eye. It caught my eye when I was playing this game at a younger age. I mean, yeah, it's a unique detail. That's part of the reason why, but what's the deal with them? Like, not only standing out and being totally unique to that area, but also one of the blocks just being tumbled over, like what caused that and who built these. Like there's this whole entire like ancient civilization or something that was in this fucking volcano that built all of that, and I don't really see anybody mention that. Like it was always so cool to see the blocks tumbled over. Like I always wondered what the point was as a kid, and if there's anything that you could do with them. I hope that you're getting like a general enough understanding of where I'm going here, because that's basically how most of these entries in the video will go, and I'm too tired to fully explain them all, and I'll just be drawing on and making you all want to die doing it. And in a similar theme, I would like to talk about the Hazy Maze Cave alcoves. Now, most people would just say that this is a means to get players to have a break from the gas and look around and not take damage, and yeah, that's true, that's probably what the main point of them are. But that's something that I never really think I noticed as a kid. Like, I think I just kind of like glanced by these, or I thought that they were just like misleading things where it's like, oh, is this the door I need to find? But nope, it's not there. And like, again, like the reason why it was put on there, just like imagine finding those like as a really wondrous kid who doesn't know the limits of the game at all. And like, if you look at these, you would be like, do these like connect to something? Do they lead somewhere? What's the point of these? Why are they here? And that's a similar thing to Unagi's tunnel also, which people just talk about a teensy bit more, and I've heard some people share theories as a kid that like they could actually get inside there and swim through and stuff. Yeah, it's something that always caught my eye as a child also, just wanting to get past that fog that Unagi is able to get through, even though decoding this and boundary breaking shows that there's really nothing behind it. Anyway, now we're going to be talking about text in the game, and what I want to start with is please walk quietly in the hallway. A lot of people say that this is just here for flavor text, and well, that's kind of fucking weird that it's just there for flavor text, excuse my language, because like, yeah, it makes sense in the context of like a normal castle hallway. It's just common decency to walk quietly in the hallway. But as the Iceberg makes very clear, this is not a normal castle. Peach's castle in this game is not at all normal. It's a complete freaking mess. There's just random pings everywhere. None of the rooms make any sense. It's way too big on the inside. There's no actual like living or functioning rooms in here. Like, I mean, there's a foyer, that's the most normal thing, but then there's no kitchens, no bedrooms, at least in the original N64 version, but that just makes it even more confusing when you look at the DS version to see those are there, but then everything else is the same. There's no kitchen scene, even though they bake a cake. There's no bathrooms, unless if you think Hazy Maze Cave is the big toilet. Even then, there's nothing to wipe with and nothing to bathe or wash with. You get my point. It's weird because it's normal. Like, I thought as a kid that this was something that you had to do. Like, if you walked quietly, you would be awarded with a secret star or something. And that's something I tried before getting all of them and didn't know where the rest were. And I've heard other people also say that they thought running and making noise would punish you, like something would come and get Mario and eat him or whatever. But yeah, it's a similar vibes to Don't Become His Lunch, which I just want to give a quick shout out to for kind of similar reasons I've been saying, just like the idea of reading that as a kid. I mean, people say it's just the developers having fun, and yeah, that's, again, most likely the point of it, but like, the idea of looking at these things as a naive child playing for the first time back then, like, that would scare you, and it's a pretty neat detail. And again, something that I forgot to mention with both this and Please Walk Quietly in the Hallway is the fact that All the other signs in the game are basically like tutorial stuff, so like when you see stuff like that, it stands out a lot more. And coincidentally, more recently, I've been hearing people report as a kid that they recall Dory actually being able to damage Mario. So there's something to think about. It's personalized. And now the entries that made me most want to make this video, the ones that I mentioned like forever ago in some random comment section. It might have been a Swanky Box video, I don't know. But it's Ghoul Metal and Cold Crevice. Now, almost every video I've seen of this, I mean, again, basically everyone, maybe just talk about Ghoul Metal a bit more, is that they say, oh, this is just a pun on gold medal, and this is just the developers having fun with alliteration, respectively. But you get the theme of this point. Look at it as a little kid, and with Ghoul Metal and Cold Crevice, the reason why these two stand out so massively compared to everything else is the fact that not only is it flavor text and not a tutorial, but also that they're capitalized. Everybody keeps looking over this. I'm like the only one who has said this. The reason why it catches your attention is because they're capitalized, like proper nouns, as if they're an actual thing. Like there's a real Ghoul Metal out there. Like if it was more so just like a pun, then it would probably just be like lowercase like normal. But no, this is like a special specific Ghoul Metal they can go out and find. And then Cold Crevice, it's all capitalized, like it's a real place, like you can go down there and find it. Ghoul Metal was a bigger urban legend back then that you could actually find it, and Swanky Box made a video on that a while ago, so I suggest checking that out. As for Cold Crevice, I've never seen outright said, but there does seem to be other people who get the idea that, like, it's the idea behind it and being an entry is that it's an actual place that you can go and find if you do some weird thing and dive below the level. And the most I've seen of this was this good video made back during the summer when the stuff was really hot by Jeff Tastic, where it was a custom level that was supposed to represent it, and I recommend going to look at that. And those are basically the entries that I want to go over. As you can see, there's a lot to talk about this iceberg. And, like, what else can be said? This started, like, this whole entire huge trend. Well, it didn't start, but it helped take it off. And there's a lot more to talk about aside from what I just did there, and probably even what a lot of others have done. And it's really cool to see this still happening. And, like, I mean, some people have said that it's not really trendy anymore, and I don't think that's true, because it seems like these types of videos still go on really well. Maybe even if they aren't quite as popular. But even then, I really loved like the personalized spooky beta stuff when it was good back in the summer. Like that helped make my summer really cool. And I was always saying that, oh, I want this trend to not end, it's great. And it kind of felt like it did. But then it also felt like it rose up with the anti-piracy stuff that's going on now and seems like even way more popular all of a sudden. And, like, I see that as, like, the continuation to it, even though I personally don't think they're as good as the other stuff, but that's just me talking and my own personal history. And in a way, I feel like that, like, my creepypasta for gaming is back video that I made months ago also was kind of accurate and true almost, so I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that. Anyway, before I potentially stop talking about the Mario 64 Iceberg image in this long-ass video, and just in general forever, I just want to go over some things again in my video that I did back in summer of the missing entries. And yes, I do know that I fucked up with the big dud thing, okay, I said it. But the thing I want to bring up again, especially since now there's more people watching, is the Lethal Lava Land painting memory. Now, my earliest memories of a kid was me watching my older cousin play this, and I remember the Lethal Lava Land painting looking closer to how it did in beta. Now, I couldn't really find, like, legit footage of the painting for this, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it before, so just here's the level for now. But while not exact, I recall him going down a hallway somewhere in the castle, and there's red carpeting, and then making a left turn down to another hallway continuing, and the ping was just on us right there, and you could see down the rest of the hallway, and it was like darkness, and he just jumped in. That's how I remember it, and again, like stupid little kid brain not remembering things right, but that's just how it's always been for me. That's how I've always seen it. And I like to think that this personalized copied stuff can almost be an answer to it, and even if that doesn't make sense in real life, it's satisfying enough to me, and I'm just happy to see people still talk about it. And even if this trend lowers down at all, there's still so much to go over this iceberg, and that's part of what makes it so cool too, aside from starting that trend. And something that I've never seen people talk about either is, what the fuck is the third image in that iceberg? You know, that picture in the middle where it's like a small staircase? Look at, what's this from? I don't recognize that anywhere in the game. I don't recall seeing it in beta footage. Is it a ROM hack of some sort? Does anybody know where it's from? And I guess that could also go for the last image too. But yeah, sorry about my really long rambling. This went on way longer than I thought, and I hope it sounds good. And yeah, that concludes the iceberg stuff, but not forever, obviously. Not only is there Edda and Eddie stuff that I'm doing next up and will be the main focus of the channel until the series is over, but there's other ideas I've had for making icebergs, such as N64 rumors and mysteries. Stay tuned, it just keeps on getting cooler and deeper.